Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and its teaser trailer made its debut 1 week ago to this day, and a lot of people are really curious about what's going on with J.J. Abrams and his vision of the final installment of the sequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about this movie that a lot of people are really curious about is, of course, exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to connect this film to the prequels and the originals and even Star Wars Rebels. And let's not forget the expanded universe. You know, we can all pay credit to, of course, Chris Terrio for inserting a lot of Legends material into this movie, and that is for certain one thing to look forward to. So one aspect of Episode 9 that we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to explore is an element that is going to change Star Wars history. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intriguing and exciting, involving Rey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Beyond. Now, specifically, a description of Rey inside of a cave on a desert world that is said to be the planet of Tatooine, as a binary sunset is seen in the background. It's described that Rey begins to hear the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, where he eventually gives Rey a short lecture about the Beyond. It's described that Kenobi reveals to Rey that she has a strong connection to the Beyond, as does Ben Solo. It's described that Kenobi reveals that the Beyond is the origin of both the dark side and the light side of the Force, and is what caused the great divide between the Jedi and Sith, as the Jedi became attached to its power. The next goes over Obi-Wan now appearing in front of Rey, describing that the Beyond existed tens of thousands of years ago, before the ancient Jedi and Sith. It's described that the Beyond also has a link to the netherworld of the Force and can be very dangerous for those to interact with in the Beyond. So I want to go over a couple of parts about all of this. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to do a lot of crazy and wild things in this movie, right? We've seen J.J. Abrams' record of doing, you know, crazy stuff with Lost and Westworld and Fringe and all these other, you know, TV shows and movies that he's been attached to. Always usually kind of ends up tapping into either time travel or something to do with, you know, consciousness stuff and stuff like that. So we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to do a lot of crazy and wild things in Episode 9. So the Beyond, I think, is a great example of all of this. How the Beyond is actually described by Kenobi to Rey to be the origins of the dark side and the light side of the Force. Now, we went over this lightly a couple of weeks ago, that the Beyond holds the truth about the dark side. Now, in my last video, we went over some of the Palpatine related content and as to whether or not he's actually alive, where both Rey and Kylo Ren see him at a certain point in time in the movie. This could very well be related to the Beyond, since it is noted that the Beyond has a link to the netherworld of the Force, and that it's very dangerous for people that live in the mortal world to interact with the Beyond. So one thing that we do know is that J.J. Abrams is setting up this storyline for this movie for the Knights of Ren, where the Knights of Ren have actually gone to the Beyond, and that it's very important that they return from the Beyond in Star Wars Episode 9, in which they do. And that's J.J. Abrams' reason as to why they were not present in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Makes a lot of sense now, right? So with Rey and Kylo Ren actually, you know, being a very part of this film, a very big part of this film, I should say, and Kenobi revealing the truth to Rey that she even has a strong connection to the Beyond, it really makes one wonder who or what in the world is Rey, right? We do know that J.J. Abrams is very excited for all of the different revelations that are coming into play for this movie that will change how we view the Skywalker saga and all the Star Wars films and the concept of the galaxy and the Force entirely. You know, I think it's a big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm by really kind of tapping into all this, the Beyond related stuff and the netherworld and all these different aspects that will be a part of Episode 9. It really could be a hit or miss for Star Wars fans around the world. I'm not going to deny that. You know, it can very well be a hit or a miss. And when we look at Star Wars as a whole, we do know that J.J. Abrams is very ambitious. We do know that he is very goal-driven with this movie. He's very much, I guess you could say, in tune with Star Wars right now. You know, a big part of this was the Palpatine laughter at Celebration that really got a lot of people excited for this movie, and how, you know, all the different action sequences between both Rey and Kylo Ren when. I mean, everything here is just looking fantastic so far. So this is most certainly probably the greatest connection to the prequels and/or originals, where Kenobi is revealing a certain truth to Rey about the beyond and another world of the Force. Now, to this day, we're not quite sure if it's actually going to be referred to as the beyond in the movie, or if that's just a code name of whatever this really is going to be in Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Nonetheless, J.J. Abrams, like I say, he's doing a lot of wild things in this movie that's really going to connect all 9 movies together, and as he said at Celebration numerous times, this movie is not just a way to end the sequel trilogy, it's a way to end all 9 movies. Think of this movie as the final film of 8 movies together, and that really is a big deal for Disney and Lucasfilm as companies, as well as us as a Star Wars community. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.